Hey everyone, welcome to another Procreate tutorial. This is the drawing that we'll be completing in today's video, this Neapolitan ice cream sundae. So we have a lot of fun drawing the bowl and then the ice cream scoops and then the whipped cream and the cherry on top. And then we add this fun background little design and a little shadow underneath to kind of bring it all together. So pretty simple, straightforward one today. We do go over some different techniques like symmetry and clipping masks and alpha lock. And we use a few different standard Procreate brushes so that you can kind of see what they all can do. But lots and lots of fun to draw, perfect for summer. I am a huge ice cream fan, so I hope that you are too, and I hope that you enjoy drawing this. So if you are new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials, so if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. I also offer extra tutorials over on Patreon. We have a lot of exclusive tutorials available over there. We just did a different ice cream one that I'll pop up on the screen here. That is a lot of fun. So if you join us over there, you get access to exclusive tutorials every month and sneak peeks every week of what we're drawing over here on YouTube. So that is linked in the description below if you'd like to check that out. But before we get started on the drawing today, the only thing that you'll need to do is download the color palette. I have it linked in the description below. It's totally free to download. Just download the file to your iPad and then double tap it or click on it and click open in Procreate. And it will automatically pop the color palette into Procreate so that you can use the same colors as you follow along with the video today. And then there's nothing else to download. We use all standard Procreate brushes. I will also post the canvas dimensions, color profile, and layers needed on the screen and in the description below so that you can use those to set up your canvas. So take a minute to get everything ready and then come back and we'll get started. Okay, this is the color palette that we'll be working with today. So let's just go ahead and get started. We'll just set our background color and then we're going to go straight into creating our dish and then the ice cream and the whipped cream and the cherry. And then we'll finish off with the background little design and the shadow underneath. So on our layer menu, let's just go ahead and grab this background color layer. Click that to open up our color selector and select the first color on the first row of the color palette to set it to this teal color. On our layer menu, let's just make sure we're on layer 1 now, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab the third color on the top row. So the second color is for our background design. So we'll switch over to the third color in the top row to start our dish. We are going to be on the monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. I will have my opacity at 100. My size, let's do like 30. We're going to start kind of like from the bottom up. So the bottom, it's just going to be like a pretty horizontal oval to start. So let's go ahead and just create a nice skinny oval around the bottom. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth and then touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. So it'll snap to this horizontal angle like so. Set a pretty small-ish size, but we can still resize it after this. Then let's go ahead and fill it in. And now we can do any resizing. So let's grab with our arrow tool and you can either be on uniform or freeform. Freeform if you want to change like the width or the height of it, whether you want to make it skinnier or taller or longer or anything. But again, a pretty small oval like this to start. And then most importantly, we want to snap it to the center of our screen. So make sure snapping is turned on in the bottom left. And then we'll just snap it to the center where we see this vertical yellow line. And I'm going to be up a little ways from that from the bottom of my canvas. So just a small kind of gap there at the bottom. I might make it a little smaller still and center it again. Okay, so this is the start. So now let's go to our layer menu. Let's make a duplicate of this layer. So slide to the left and hit duplicate. Be on the top one, grab it with our arrow tool. Let's switch it to uniform and we'll downsize it quite a bit. Move it straight up from our other one. So line it up in the middle again, and we'll leave a good gap there, but line it up again on your center yellow line. But yeah, a bit smaller even, about like this. So then again, we're up a ways above it on our yellow line. We'll end up connecting this with 2 straight lines. But now we're going to make one more oval again. So layer menu, let's slide to the left and hit duplicate on this top smaller one. Be on the top one again. Arrow tool on uniform, let's downsize it again and again, bring it up. This time no gap, we're just going to make it a teeny bit smaller and then line it up where they kind of overlap, but again lined up on our yellow line there. So something maybe like this. Okay, so now let's continue. So let's go back to our layer menu. Let's go back to our bottom layer, this very first one. And let's go ahead and turn on symmetry. So under the gear icon, under canvas, click to turn on the drawing guide, click edit drawing guide and set it to symmetry. You should see a vertical line here. If you don't, go ahead and click vertical under the options here and then click done. Then on our layer menu, let's make sure this layer that we're on now, the bottom one says assisted on it. It should. That means symmetry is on this layer. If it doesn't say assisted, go ahead and click on it and turn on drawing assist. Okay, so we're on this layer, we're on the same color, same brush, and we are just going to now create like the top of this and the sides. So I'm going to start on the right side of my oval here. And since we're snapped directly to the center of the screen, our symmetry will work here and it should line up. So right on the very edge of this oval here, I'm going to draw a line up and to the left a little bit, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight. And I'm just going to let it sink underneath this other oval with like a small kind of indent there. So it's not like touching the very edge, it's like in a little bit, like so. You can click this edit line button at the top to adjust it if you need to. So just again, make sure this lines up nicely with that corner there, like so. Then we need to connect it so we can fill it in. So grab our pen tool and I'm just going to connect from here to the middle so we can fill this piece in. Beautiful. So now we have 3 pieces on our layer menu. Now we're going to create some shadows and stuff. So on this layer on the bottom here, click on it and turn on alpha lock. Okay, and I actually used the wrong color for all of these, so we're just going to quickly change the colors. So we're on this bottom layer here. Alpha lock is turned on. We're going to grab this lighter color now, 4th one on the top row. Back to our layer menu, click on this layer and click fill layer. Okay, we'll do that for each one as we go, but we're going to stay on this layer and do our shadow and highlight now. So let's grab our 5th color on the top row, our shadow color, and switch our brush to the soft brush under the airbrushing category. I'm going to have my opacity for this set to like 70 and my size set to maybe 5. And we're going to just create a small shadow right on the very top edge right next to where this next oval is. So this is kind of helpful too since they're in slightly different colors. Maybe I did that on purpose. And now we can kind of see better where they come together so we know where to draw our shadow. So I'm just going to draw a little shadow right there. Since symmetry is turned on, you just got to do the one side. So something like that. And then we'll do a highlight also. So that'll be in our next color, 6th one on the top row. And we'll do that kind of around the bottom. So bring that through. It's just barely lighter, but just again adds like a pretty light highlight there at the bottom. Okay, now we'll do a similar thing for our next 2. So on our layer menu, let's grab our middle one now, click on it and turn on alpha lock. Let's again refill it with the correct color, the 4th one on the top row. So find that color. Back to our layer menu, click on it and click fill layer. Alpha lock still turned on. Let's go ahead and grab our shadow color, 5th one on the top row, same brush. And maybe we'll lower our size a little bit to like 3% or so. And again, we'll draw like a shadow right underneath this one, this next oval. We don't have symmetry turned on this time, so we're going to do the whole thing all the way across. A little bit of a shadow there. Okay, let's also grab our highlight color, 6th one on the top row. And we'll do that again across like the bottom to kind of highlight it there. Okay, and then for our next one, same thing on our layer menu. Let's go to our top layer now, click on it and turn on alpha lock. Again, set it to our correct color, the 4th one on the top row. Back to our layer menu, click on this layer, click fill layer. Okay, and then we can't draw the shadow yet because we need the next layer that's going to be our bowl, but we can draw the highlight. So let's grab our 6th color on the top row, our lightest one. Same brush at like 30% or at 3%, and we'll just do like this top edge or this front edge closer to us. And a little bit of a highlight there. So we'll come back and do our shadow when we have that next piece. But now we're going to move on, and the next thing we're going to do is actually draw like the rim of our bowl so that we have that laid down, and then we'll just quickly draw like the curved line to connect it. So on our layer menu, let's go ahead and add a new layer above everything. Click on it and turn on drawing assist. Let's grab our 4th color on the top row. Grab our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab, still at 30%. Okay, So I'm going to go from this like top right corner of the piece that I have laid down up and to the right a little bit, maybe right about here. And I'm just going to make a dot, and that's where we're going to start. So it's going to be the edge of my bowl. So it'll kind of come together in the middle here. We can always resize the whole thing in a moment, but or pieces of it, but we just want a good starting point. So I am about halfway from the top to the bottom of my canvas. So let's go ahead and start here. And I am going to kind of come right from this dot. I'm going to go like pretty much straight out, then down, then up, then back down to meet in the middle. So it meets in kind of like a curve there. So that was really slow and really ugly, but now we're going to do it better, but that's the idea. So again, from this point, we're just going to go boop, 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 boop. Still didn't quite get the shape I want. Down, up, down. That's better. Closer. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty okay with that. Okay, then we'll go to our layer menu, make a duplicate of our wavy line. So slide to the left and hit duplicate. Either one, grab it with your arrow tool and just move it straight down on our yellow line, like so. Okay, then we'll go to our layer menu, we'll snap those two layers together. Drawing Assist is still turned on. And with our pen, we're just going to kind of connect this edge here, smooth out anything that you need to smooth out. So I'm going to connect this with kind of like a curved little like oval piece there. That connects the shape and we'll fill it in. And then, yeah, smooth out anything else that you need to, either with your pen or you can use your eraser also on the monoline brush to do any erasing if that is needed. But yeah, I want to kind of fix this middle part a little bit better. So we get a nice smooth top of our bowl. This looks good so far. I am going to now decrease the size of this piece. I just want a bigger bowl than this is going to like allow me to have, but I don't want my line here to go any higher than it is right now, which is like halfway from top to bottom. I might even want it to be a little bit lower. So I'm going to grab with my arrow tool, move it down just a smidge. So see, like this is the center of our canvas, so we can actually kind of place it there even, the center, both of our yellow lines. Okay, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab these three pieces. So I'll select one, slide right on the other two, arrow tool on uniform, and I'm going to downsize it quite a bit. Made it way too big to start, and then recenter it there on our yellow line towards the bottom with just a small gap down there. And I think that looks pretty good. So let's finish up the bowl now. So on our layer menu, let's go ahead and add a layer above our previous oval underneath our squiggly line. Click on this layer and turn on Drawing Assist. Grab our third color on the top row, darker than the one that we were just on, and our monoline brush still under the calligraphy tab. And now we're just going to create kind of a curved line from the edge of our rim down to the middle right above this oval. So I'm just going to kind of come right through here, hold it down until it turns nice and smooth. And then you can click this Edit Arc button to kind of adjust it, but we just want a nice smooth kind of curve that curves right through the middle there, like so. Okay, pen tool again. Let's go ahead and make a shape to fill in. So I'm going to draw from here. I'm going to draw under my wavy line till I get to the middle. So that should be connected underneath that wavy line, and fill that in. Awesome. Now on this edge here, where we have this kind of like harsh line, I'm going to kind of smooth that out. So I'm just going to try to kind of draw a curved line going the other way to kind of come into my main curve, if that makes sense, to kind of connect that a little bit better. Now we need our other little detail pieces through this piece. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer above our little bowl. Click on this layer and turn on Drawing Assistant, and then click on it again and set it to a clipping mask. So we only draw within this other shape that we have laid down. We're still below our squiggly line. We're going to switch back though to our fourth color on the top row now to do this. So I'm going to start in the middle and right to the right of my symmetry line, right where my little wavy line is. I'm going to start there a little ways out from my symmetry line. I'm going to curve in and then curve back out towards the bottom. So do that a couple times if you need to. Do it kind of fast to get a nice smooth line, or you can hold it down if you wish to. Maybe we don't want it to flare so much at the bottom. Maybe something more like this. And then we need to connect that also to fill it in. So I'm going to connect at the top here from here to here underneath my squiggly line from here to here at the base. Fill that in. Okay, so then we're going to draw another one kind of like diagonal on each side. So I'm going to just draw on the right side and it'll mirror on the left. But I'm going to start just kind of right where, like a little closer to our right edge here. Find a good spot to just kind of curve in towards the base, curve back out a little bit. And then go a little ways away from that, kind of wherever, and start and get a good start there to kind of curve towards the base as well. So something kind of like that. Do it a few times till you get something that you like. Like so. And then once you get a couple good lines that are slightly angled in towards the bottom, I'm going to connect them at the top, connect them at the bottom, and fill that in like so. That is a great start to our dish. So now we're going to just keep on going. So we'll go back to our top oval layer that we still need to add a shadow to. So let's go ahead and start there. So we're on that layer, alpha locks turned on. Let's go ahead and grab our darkest gray, the fifth one on the top row, switch back to our soft brush under the airbrushing category, and at 3% still for our size and 70% for our opacity, I'm just going to start at the kind of where the bottom of the bowl is and just create a little shadow underneath it like so. Layer menu. Let's go to our next layer up, this one that has like our main bowl shape. Click on that and turn on alpha lock. So now we're going to draw right on this layer. So we'll be underneath the little lines that we just drew, but we're going to create like a shadow here with this same darker gray color. So drawing assist is turned on, so we just need to do the one side, but I'm just going to start and kind of go like underneath the little squiggly line rim first. So I'll do that right in that area and then underneath in this area. And then the shadow's kind of on the inside of our other pieces as well. So I'm going to draw a shadow kind of right through here. Shadow like here. Lower your brush size or adjust it if you need to. Shadow through here. Not quite going like all the way to the bottom. We'll leave that one kind of more highlighted. Just kind of very lightly through this top area, creating a little shadow. Okay. That's it for this layer, so now we'll go to our next layer up, and this one will have a shadow and a highlight on. So click on it and turn on alpha lock. Drawing assist is turned on. Our base color was the fourth one on the top row. This time we're just going to use our third color on the top row for our shadow. It's just slightly darker. We don't want a crazy shadow on this piece. So we'll be on that one, same brush settings, and we'll just go right underneath the rim to create a little shadow there and here. So just kind of, they're the same color, but just kind of draw until you can see where that distinction is made. And then we're going to do a highlight on this layer as well. So grab our highlight color, sixth one on the top row, our lightest one, and we'll kind of highlight the edges a little bit. So I'm just going to go through right through the edges. I might lower my brush size a little bit to like 2% or so and just go right through and do this edge here and here and here to highlight those. Okay, last one is our top squiggly line. Click on it and turn on alpha lock, and we're only going to do a highlight on it. So the same color that we have selected, same brush. Drawing assist is turned on, so we only need to do the one side. So I'm just going to start, and we're just going to do the top and bottom edge in a highlight. So just kind of all the way around the edges with this. Awesome. So that is it for our bowl. Feel free to make any other changes that you wish to. You know, you can resize the whole thing if you want. So on our layer menu, we can select all of our layers and group them together. So as long as you like the proportions of them, we can select one, slide right on all the others and hit group. And now this is our ice cream dish group. So with our arrow, we can like move it around, resize it. You can do it like freeform and like skinny it from top to bottom if you wish, anything like that. Make it wider. So I might make mine a little bit wider and a little bit shorter and then recenter it on my yellow line. So whatever looks good to you. And then we'll move on to our ice cream now. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer and drag the new layer below our group with our dish. And we'll just do one ball of ice cream at a time. Let's go ahead and start with our chocolate. That's our first set of colors here on the second row. So grab our first color on the second row, and that's our base color for our chocolate. Grab our monoline brush again under the calligraphy tab. And we will just go ahead and same settings as before, draw a little ball of ice cream on the left side here. So just kind of right near the edge of our dish, I'm just going to draw a good circle. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. Touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle. Set a good size. We can still resize it, but go ahead and fill it in. Then arrow tool on uniform if you wish to resize it at all. Let's go ahead and place it here. So let's actually go ahead and just make our 3 scoops first so that we know that they're kind of like proportionate and stuff. So if this is our first scoop and we're going to do 3 total, that looks pretty good. We're kind of close to our symmetry line, but not touching it. So then they'll all kind of overlap each other. But I think that's a solid size to start with. So let's go to our layer menu, make a duplicate of the circle layer, slide to left and hit duplicate. Be on our next one. Grab our base for our strawberry actually. So that's going to be this 7th one on the second row. Click on this layer on the layer menu, turn on alpha lock, and then click on it and click fill layer so it turns pink. Grab it with our arrow tool and let's move it on over to the right and kind of keeping it kind of in line with our chocolate one over there. Same kind of distance from the edge here, like so. Layer menu, slide to the left and hit duplicate. Be on the top one now. Alpha lock's already turned on. We just need to fill it in with our vanilla color. So our base vanilla color, 4th one on the second row. Back to our layer menu, click on this layer and click fill layer. Arrow tool, and now we'll move this one to the center, and then I'll move it also like maybe down a smidge from the other 2. So like this is kind of in line with the top of it, and then I'll move it right down a little bit on my center yellow line. So it's just a little bit lower there, so it kind of curves in at the top. So mine look pretty well proportioned. If you need to change the size of yours at all, we already have the like 3 colors set and stuff. So if you want to change the size, let's just go ahead and change them all at once. So on your layer menu, you would select one, slide right on the other 2, grab them with your arrow tool on uniform, and then you can either upsize or downsize them all at once, and they'll all be, the same size as each other still. So if you need to make them bigger, go ahead, and then you can just select them individually and kind of move them around. But I'm going to leave mine as is. I think those look good. Now let's go ahead and do our like ice cream texture and details. So on our layer menu, let's start with our chocolate one. Go back down to that on our layer menu, click on it and turn on alpha lock since we didn't do that already. Okay, back to our chocolate colors. So this was our base color. Now we need to have a highlight and a shadow color. So let's grab our highlight color first, second one on the second row, and switch back to our soft brush under the airbrushing category again. Let's increase our size a little bit to maybe like 5 to 7%, somewhere in there. And we're going to have a highlight on the top left side here. So I'm just going to kind of lightly start there and work in like a circular motion to kind of highlight that top left corner. Then we'll grab our shadow color, third one on the second row, and we'll kind of do a shadow like where the bowl is and next to our vanilla ice cream as well, kind of like on this just lower area. Something like that. Then to make like our ice cream texture, we're going to go to our layer menu, add a new layer above our chocolate scoop, click on it and set it to a clipping mask, click the N and set it to multiply. Then we're going to go to our color palette and we're always going to use this same color for each scoop. So it's going to be the 7th one on the top row. And then we're going to switch to our gloaming brush under the drawing category. So find that, my opacity is at 100, my size, maybe we'll do like 30%. And I'm going to go through and just kind of lightly create these like little kind of wavy lines through the ice cream of varying kind of sizes and thicknesses. So I make a few big ones, then I'm just going to do a few kind of really little ones to kind of add to that ice cream texture. So we're also going to add like the little kind of wavy piece at the bottom that you get when you like make a scoop of ice cream. So let's go ahead and do that too. So on our layer menu, add a new layer above the one that we're on right now. Grab our base chocolate color again, the first one on the second row. And let's go back to our monoline brush. And we are just going to start like a little outside of our chocolate ball here and kind of just make some curvy piece like this, connect it through the bottom so we can fill it in. Okay, then on our layer menu, click on this layer and turn on Alpha Lock. Grab our highlight color again, second one on the second row. Back to our soft brush under the airbrushing category. I might lower my size a little bit to like 3% and just touch like the top of this piece here to highlight it, separating it further from our previous scoop piece. And then let's grab our darker color as well, third one on the second row, and just create like a little bit of a shadow near the dish if possible. So that kind of adds all the different things. We won't do the gloaming part to our little puff at the bottom, but that adds a nice little finishing touch to our scoop. So we're just going to follow those exact same steps for all of them. So first things first, let's go to our layer menu and we can snap these layers all together now if that's helpful and helps save some layers. So our chocolate scoop, our multiply layer, and then the little puff at the bottom. As long as you're happy with the way they turned out, we can go ahead and snap those onto one layer. Now let's move up to our pink one and start over. So we're going to do the highlight and shadow on the ball first, then we'll add the gloaming, then we'll add the puff at the bottom and the highlight and shadow to that. So it's already set to alpha lock. So let's just grab our lighter pink color, eighth one on the second row, and we're on our soft brush already. Let's just increase our size back up to like 7% or so. And now our highlight will be in the top right corner. So I'm going to kind of go there. Do a quick highlight again, like in a circular motion on that top right corner. Then we'll grab our darker color, ninth one on the second row, to create a shadow next to our vanilla scoop and towards the bowl there. Awesome. Layer menu. Let's add a new layer above this one. Click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Click the N and set it to multiply. Go back to that same color that we used before, the seventh one on the top row, and our gloaming brush again. Same settings as before. And we'll just do that same thing. So we'll create our little kind of ripples through our strawberry ice cream now. Again, some kind of bigger ones and then maybe some smaller ones throughout. Okay, then we'll go ahead and make the little puff piece at the bottom. So layer menu, new layer above this one. Normal layer, let's grab our base pink color again. Seventh one on the second row, back to our monoline brush. And we'll just draw that little puff again. So I'll start again like on the outside right side now and kind of start there. Create some little wavy lines connected to the beginning so you can fill it in. Layer menu, click on this layer, turn on alpha lock, grab our lighter color, eighth one in the second row, back to our soft airbrush, or back to our soft brush, back down to like 3%, touch the tops again, create that little highlight there. Back to our darker color, create that little shadow there. And boom, that is it for our strawberry ice cream. So let's go to our layer menu and you can snap those layers together. Lastly, our vanilla. Let's go ahead and select that layer. It's already got alpha lock turned on. Let's grab our lighter vanilla color, the fifth one on the second row. Same soft brush, we'll just up the size again to like 7%. Starting at the top now, we're going to go straight down in a circular motion to create the highlight there, like so. Then let's grab our darker color now, sixth one on the second row, and kind of create like a shadow right where the dish is with that. Okay, layer menu, new layer above this one. Click on it, set it to a clipping mask, click the N and set it to multiply, and grab our gloaming color again. So the texture color we've been using, seventh one on the top row. Back to our gloaming brush under the drawing category. And let's go ahead and make our little wavy lines. Okay. Now our little puff piece at the bottom. Layer menu, new layer. grab our base color again, fourth one on the second row, back to our monoline brush, and we'll just start outside on one edge. So I'm going to do the left edge, and we'll just kind of do the same thing as before. Connect it to the beginning, fill it in. Okay, layer menu, click on this layer, alpha lock, lighter color, back to our soft brush, lower the size, touch the top with a highlight, back to our darker color if you kind of have room. Mine's like a little bit lower than before, so there's not a ton of room to make that shadow, but go for it if you can. And that completes our last scoop of ice cream. So that looks great. So then on the layer menu, let's go ahead and snap those layers together. So now we have our 3 ice cream scoops. So I hope you like the way that those turned out. They're so fun. Now let's go ahead and add a new layer for our whipped cream at the top. So it'll just be right above our scoops. Okay, and then our whipped cream is going to be these 3 colors on the bottom row, the first 3. So let's start with the first one. Let's be on our monoline brush again. And same settings as before. And so I'm just going to kind of start here, and I'm just going to kind of make like a rounded edge to start the first like tier, I guess we'll say. And then we'll kind of go across the bottom, kind of wavy, and then back around. So this is kind of like our first tier. So it's kind of an oval, but very like wiggly, wavy. I might even do it again and make it like a little skinnier and a little like wavier or something. Something kind of like that. Then we'll kind of just keep going up from there, making them like skinnier and skinnier. Always kind of wavy and stuff. Maybe we'll do one more to kind of be our top. And then let's go ahead and fill those in. So either with your brush or drag and drop. Fill that all in to create our whipped cream. Feel free to like move it around or whatever. I'm going to grab it with my arrow tool. I make it a little bit bigger, kind of move it a little bit. We don't want any gaps, like we don't want it sitting like this, but so it can cover a good amount of our vanilla. So there's no gaps there. Okay, now we're going to add like some texture and shadow and highlight to it. So on our layer menu, click on this layer and turn on alpha lock. Then we'll grab our darker color now, the second one on the bottom row, and switch to our gloaming brush again under the drawing category. Set our size to maybe like 20%, and we're just going to kind of go through like where the shadows would be. So kind of right where these pieces come together, I'm going to kind of start there and kind of draw it in and kind of let it fade out. Nice and textured, so I'm going to do that kind of like where each of these is. Kind of draw a good shadow, kind of help separate our little pieces here, or our levels. Maybe you can throw in a few more just like throughout, just to kind of add some more texture. Okay, then we'll do kind of a similar thing with our third color in the bottom row, lighter than our base color, and just kind of throw those in throughout as well to add like kind of a highlight here and there. So kind of on those like thicker areas where we didn't add a shadow, we can add a highlight. And then just kind of throughout again as well. So that is our whipped cream. Okay, last up is our cherry. If you're like running out of room by chance, feel free to downsize anything that you need to. So on your layer menu, you can select all of your layers. You can even slide right on the group itself, so then everything is selected. Arrow tool on uniform, you can downsize it or upsize it, and then just make sure to recenter it on your center yellow line. So do that if you need to, but I think I'm okay. And then we'll just add a layer above our whipped cream. Grab our bright red color, fourth one on the bottom row. Grab our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab, same settings as before, 30% for our size. And we'll draw a perfect circle up at the top here. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. Touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle. And then go ahead and fill it in. Arrow tool on uniform if you need to resize it or move it around. We just want enough room for a stem coming off of it. Okay, layer menu, click on this layer, turn on alpha lock, and we'll add a quick shadow and highlight. So let's grab our darker red, fifth one on the bottom row. Back to our soft brush. And we'll just do the bottom like left side in a little bit of a shadow, kind of following the curve of the cherry. So just doing the edge. Then we'll grab our highlight color, 6th one on the bottom row, and kind of coming from the top right, we'll kind of come in, again, kind of circularly like so to add a highlight there. Okay, same layer, we're going to grab our 7th color on the bottom row, which is going to be a really bright highlight. And we're going to grab our gloaming brush again under the drawing category. I'll set my size pretty low to like 10. And on this top right corner where we have this like lighter color already started, we're just going to kind of make a little curved kind of highlight like so with some nice texture to it. Beautiful. Now we just need our stem. Layer menu. Let's add a layer below our cherry. Let's grab our next color in line, 8th one on the bottom row, and go back to our monoline brush under the calligraphy tab. Okay, so starting from like right towards the center here underneath my cherry, I'm going to curve up and to the right, hold that down until it turns perfectly smooth. Click this edit arc button if you need to adjust it at all, but a good size stem. Okay, then on the end here on the top, we'll go down just a smidge, and then we'll make another curved line back to the base. Hold it down, edit arc, we want it nice and skinny, but like a little thicker on the top than it is at the base. So we'll fill that in, adjust it if you need to. I might grab my eraser tool on the monoline brush and just kind of cut through this to kind of make it a little shorter and make it nice and kind of square at the top there. Again, resize your stem or your cherry or move them around if you need to. Otherwise, that is it for all of our Sundae pieces. So resize anything if it needs to be resized. Otherwise, lastly, we are going to make the shadow underneath and our little fun background design. So let's go ahead and do the shadow first. So on our layer menu, if you need to save any layers, we can go ahead and snap our cherry and our stem together. That's about it though. Let's add a new layer, drag the new layer all the way to the bottom of our layers. Click the N on this layer and set it to multiply. Grab our 8th color on the top row, same monoline brush, and we're going to make a nice skinny oval around our base here at the bottom. So I'm going to just make a good oval, good, nice big size, hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth, touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal, kind of set it at wherever size and placement it's at, and then fill it in, and then we can move it around and resize it. So arrow tool on either freeform or uniform if you want to resize it, but we want this one to be a good size, and then center it on our center yellow line, and then just make sure it's kind of like an even amount on the top and bottom from our base. So like there's a little bit underneath showing, and then it also goes behind it a bit. Layer menu, let's make a duplicate of this layer. So slide to left and hit duplicate. This one we're going to fill in with our next color in line, 9th one on the top row. Drag and drop that to fill it in. It'll get nice and dark. Arrow tool on uniform or freeform. And we're going to downsize it quite a bit. Recenter it there on our yellow line. Adjust the size as needed so that it's kind of just a little closer to our base, like so. So those are our two kind of shadow colors. If you want to mess with like the opacity on either of them, you can. If you feel like they're too dark or anything, you can click the M on either of the layers and open this up and drag the opacity slider up or down. Maybe I'll set this darker one at like 85 or so. Okay, so then lastly, it's just our background design. So on our layer menu, let's add a new layer, drag the new layer to the very bottom of our layers, right above our background color. And we're going to grab our second color on the top row. And the brush that we're going to use for this is going to be the round brush under the painting category. My opacity is at 100, my size is also at 100. And we're just going to start kind of in this top left corner. And I'm just going to start and I'm going to make like a squiggle like this. So it kind of starts lighter and then I push down a little harder as I get to the bottom right corner. So I like to go pretty light for the first one. And then I do another one and I push maybe a little bit harder. And then we kind of get like some like overlapping and stuff going on, and that looks nice and fun. So once that's done, I'm going to go to my gear icon, click to turn off the drawing guide so that our line goes away and we can see our picture in full. But that is it for the drawing today. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you like the way the oars turn out. I hope that you maybe learned something new. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube shows it to more people. And then if you would like to share your drawing on Instagram, I would love to see it. So go ahead and post it there and then tag me so that I can check it out. And while you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so that you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching.